Welcome to the Public Service Commission's administrative meeting for March 13th, 2024. The first item is minutes from our meeting of March 6th, 2024. Commissioner Sussman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barda.
Aye.
Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye.
Mr. Chair, there is no consent agenda today. Item 1 on the administrative agenda is a request from Baltimore Gas and Electric Company for a mandatory waiver of a CPCN requirement.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioners. Latangia Bunch on behalf of Commission staff. On January 5th, 2024, BGE filed a request for a mandatory waiver from the requirements to obtain a CPCN in connection with work to be performed on a portion of an existing 138 kV overhead transmission line in Cecil County. BGE states that the purpose of this project is to remove transmission infrastructure out of the path of Amtrak's Susquehanna River Bridge project. Amtrak's Susquehanna River Bridge project involves replacing a single 117-year-old two-track bridge with two new two-track bridges in Cecil County. BGE states that a transmission tower is in the path of Amtrak's project, and the company proposes removing one existing 120-foot transmission tower and replacing it with two monopole transmission structures. The cost of the work, which is being funded 100% by Amtrak, is estimated by BGE to be approximately $1 million. BGE expects 0 hours of residential customer interruption associated with the construction work. PUA 7207B4I states, for construction related to an existing overhead transmission line designed to carry a voltage in excess of 69,000 volts, the Commission shall waive the requirement to obtain a certificate of public convenience and necessity if the company finds that the construction does not require the electric company to obtain new rural property or additional rights of way through eminent domain, or require larger or higher structures to accommodate increased voltage or larger conductors. This project will not require BGE to obtain any new rural property or any additional rights of way through eminent domain. Additionally, all new structures will be the same height as the existing structure, and all conductor installed as part of the project will be the same size as the current conductor. Staff recommends that the Commission grant BGE a mandatory waiver from the requirement to obtain a CPCN for the work described in the company's filing pursuant to PUA 7207B4I. Thank you. I'm available for any questions.
So, any questions for staff?
Good morning, Chair Hoover, Commissioners. Brent Balea on behalf of BGE. Just want to thank staff for its analysis and recommendation. We're here if you have any questions.
Any questions for BG&E? Actually, just one. So, this Amtrak bridge is a project that's going to go. This is not something just contemplated, right?
That's our understanding, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, with that, I move that we grant BG&E a mandatory waiver from the requirement to obtain a CPCN for the work described in its filing pursuant to Public Utilities Article 7-207B4I. Commissioner Sussman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye.
Mr. Chair, item number 2 is a request from CPV Maryland LLC to extend its CPCN condition number W4E in case number 9437.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Chris Velo on behalf of staff. This item is the request by CPV Maryland LLC seeking to extend condition W4E of the company's approved CPCN case number 9437 filed on December 19, 2023. CPV operates a 745 megawatt natural gas-fired power generating facility known as St. Charles Energy Center in St. Charles County, Maryland. The facility utilizes reclaimed wastewater from Charles County Metawoman Wastewater Treatment Plant in the cooling process for facility turbines. Pursuant to condition W4E, CPV may elect to use reclaimed water with turbidity values greater than 5 nephelometric turbidity unit (NTU), while the chlorine residual is maintained. According to CPV, there have been 12 incidents where the wastewater treatment plant operational failure have caused disruption in CPV's facility in January 2022. On several occasions, CPV was forced to stop incoming reclaimed water or shut down due to Metawoman's inability to process high water inflow from the rain or to supply compliant wastewater. Given the operational challenges at the CPV's facility and Metawoman water treatment plant, staff understands that there may be periods when the turbidity limits set in the CPCN conditions cannot be met. However, CPV has been able to utilize the procedures that it put in place to minimize any impacts to the regional electric grid when Metawoman is unable to provide the specific reclaimed water. CPV must have this procedural mechanism in place to assure a safe and reliable operation capable of providing electricity to the grid. After review, staff concludes that by granting a 3-year extension, it will allow CPV to use this emergency provisions when the facility receives non-compliant water. And this extension will also provide Charles County with additional time to complete its required improvement projects on the wastewater treatment plant. Staff relies on PBRP for analysis and recommendation concerning water and other environmental issues related to CPCN in this case. Staff also notes that PBRP filed a letter on March 11, 2024, and it does not oppose CPV's request. Based on its review, staff recommends that the Commission approves CPV's request to extend its CPCN Condition W4E for 3 years and direct the companies to file a clean version of the revised CPCN conditions. Thank you.
Mr.
So any questions for staff?
Yeah, I have one.
Sure.
In reading this, the first question that came to my mind is to wonder if the Maryland Department of the Environment has been informed of the situation.
I believe PBRP and other parties had a discussion in regard to this matter.
Uh-huh.
Morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Steve Tolson, counsel for PPRP. PPRP has communicated with the Maryland Department of the Environment, and they acknowledged the position that PPRP took, and they join in with not opposing the request.
Okay, but do you know if MDE is going to take any action to have a remediation of the the water that's being used? Are they taking any action of any kind that you're aware of?
I don't believe we know. Sean Seaman, who's the project manager for PPRP, is here. My understanding is this is a matter of a capital project that needs financing by Charles County, and that just hasn't been forthcoming at this time. They need to upgrade their wastewater treatment plant, and they haven't done so.
Wow. Okay. This is okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Schlishman.
Okay, so I'm going to follow up on Commissioner Barvey's question. I'm assuming we don't have anybody from Charles County here. Mr. Lowe, you had stated in your presentation that there is an improvement project in place. Do you have a sense of the timing of that? Is that what you were referring to, the capital project that needs to get financed? It's not been financed. Is that? I'm a little unclear about.
I believe the Charles County proposed a list of improvement projects, but most of them has been delayed, or we don't know the timing when it's going to start. So that's staff concern whether or not this project will be moving forward.
Well, the concern I have is that we'll do a 3-year extension, but without knowing where the county is in terms of, and I'm assuming these are capital improvement projects that have to happen if we're having issues with water and treatment.
Correct. And I think in this filing, the CPV filing, and also in my bug sheet mentioned that there are 3 particular projects. They are critical to addressing the wastewater treatment from this Metawoman wastewater plant, and I think some of them has been ongoing, and I think that one of the project will have a completion, won't be complete until 2028.
Well,
And-
is there anything that I mean, short of, I mean, we can grant the 3-year extension, but is there anything that we can do to try to, I mean, I know we don't have authority over Charles County, but what can we do to kind of help to make this happen? I mean, this sounds like something that has to happen. And looks like we,
Commissioner Charles Shaler with Baker Donaldson. I represent CPV Maryland LLC. Commissioners, good morning. With me is Dominic DiBieri, CPV, and we also have Nick and Lauren from CAMS who operate the facility, Nick Bowl and Lauren Sparks. To answer your question directly, we provided a document that came from Charles County dated January 16th on the capital projects, and it had a timeline with it. And as Mr. Lowe mentioned, there is a timeline for them to complete. Unfortunately, as with construction projects, Charles County is simply behind in completing. You know, the estimated date could have been today, but due to weather events or contractor delays, some of these projects have been pushed back or extended. And when the condition was in place, we had a different schedule from Charles County. So some of those dates have slipped, hence why we are back here asking.
okay, so this is not a question of whether, this is just a question of when.
That is fair, Commissioner.
Okay. Is it possible to give us some sort of, you know, we can maybe include in the 3-year extension some kind of reporting requirement, just to kind of give us an update on the status of this, so that we're aware of where things are, so that we can avoid, you know, coming back here in 3 years for another extension because things haven't been moving along.
I don't see any problem providing an annual report, you know, just a notice back to just take the list dated that we have.
Okay.
If we have an updated list, we could provide an updated
Yeah.
list.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would support some kind of
Okay.
status report. Thank you.
Well, let me ask a couple of questions. So when these water incidents occur, does that affect the operation of the plant?
It can, and it depends on the amount of turbidity that is in this reclaimed water coming to our plant. So the threshold of 5 NTUs was the threshold MDE sent. And when it's below 5, we don't have the issue. When it's above 5, the issue coming to our plant is because of the condition, we have to take certain steps. So the short answer is yes. And unfortunately, the Mattawoman treatment plant is simply an older treatment plant and requires the capital investment. If these capital investments are made, in theory, we shouldn't have any further discussion on the issue.
But the issue right now is Charles County is looking to fix this problem, but it's not fixed yet.
They are actively doing some of the capital projects. So they've seen it. They knew about it before. They've known about it from MDE. For Commissioner Barvet's question, they are working on it. It's just a time and contractor funding issue.
Because I guess my concern is we got, you know, generation problems all across the state, and I don't want to see this one being part of the problem.
And Mr. Chairman, to maybe put your concerns at ease, we have not had to invoke what we call this emergency condition. It is there as a safeguard. So we have not had to shut down, but on the rare occasion. So this facility obviously is reliable. And we just need the safety net, if you will, to have this condition in place so we can continue to operate should we have some unforeseen events, should projects not be completed, or should we get a severe storm event.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
I also agree with the some sort of a reporting, but
Sure.
I would like that report to be timed in such a way that maybe somebody in the legislature could do something about it next January. I think some sort of a notification I guess we have this buck sheet as a notification prior to January. But anyway, I also want to support an annual report.
Okay.
can I just ask one question? Does the fact that the plant wants to offer Black Start services to PJM is that one of the reasons why we need to have this extension? I mean, how does that fit into this whole discussion today?
Well, Black Start is there in case there's an event to the.
No, I understand what Black Start
yeah,
is.
so-
I'm just trying to understand.
And yes,
Okay.
to have this, we need to operate.
Right. Okay. So this is the safety net really is so the plant can offer Black Start services to PJM.
That and just normal everyday grid reliability, Commissioner.
Right. Okay. And I think the question was answered by PPRP, but I was just interested in things like the sodium hydrochlorite and some of the pumping, the fact that we're using waste water. There is oversight. You can just nod if you want to. I'm looking at by Department of Environment, and they're engaged also in confirming that it's okay to use these chemicals because this, as you know, this area is growing very rapidly, and so where the plant started out kind of out all by itself, now it's surrounded by more and more densely populated communities. So I think it's important that again. I have that assurance that other state authorities who look at these chemicals and
PPRP is actively communicated with MDE, and MDE is involved.
terrific. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any other questions? All right, with that, I move that we approve the company's request to extend CPCN condition W-4E for an additional 3 years and direct the company to file a clean version of the revised CPCN conditions and provide an annual report every June 30 of each year on the progress to rectify the problem. So Commissioner Sushman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye. And that concludes today's administrative meeting.
Thank you, Commissioners.
So we'll get started with the Pepco rate case at 10:30. Does that work? Yeah, 10:30. So.